Welcome to When Was It, What Is It?, where we discuss past and present events that have and are shaping the world. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Napoleon Bonaparte, the once mighty emperor of France, remains an enigma despite his prominent place in history. In this video, we're going to dive into some of the lesser-known facts and rumors about Napoleon. But first, a quick background. In power for a significant part of the early 19th century, Napoleon was initially the de facto leader of the French Republic as First Consul from November 9, 1799 to May 18, 1804. After this, he declared himself Emperor of the French and ruled in this capacity from May 18, 1804 until April 6, 1814. He was later exiled, then returned to power for a period known as the 100 Days, then defeated at the Battle of Waterloo, and exiled again on the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean until the time of his death on May 5, 1821. While his military prowess and political reforms are well documented, we're here to discuss the weird stuff. Here are some of the strangest facts and rumors about this fascinating historical figure. Napoleon the novelist. Before he became the Emperor of France, Napoleon tried his hand at writing. In 1795, he penned a romance novel called Clisson et Eugénie, a semi-autobiographical love story reflecting his own youthful romance with Désirée Clary in the 1790s. The story revolves around a French soldier, Clisson, who falls in love with Eugénie, only to be betrayed by her. The narrative reflects many elements of Romanticism, a literary movement characterized by an emphasis on emotion and individualism, as well as the glorification of the past and nature. While Napoleon's prowess as a novelist doesn't match his military genius, Clisson et Eugénie offers a fascinating insight into his personal experiences and emotions. It portrays a different side of Napoleon, one that contrasts sharply with his image as a ruthless military leader. Disguised walks. Napoleon would sometimes disguise himself as a lower-class citizen and walk the streets of Paris to understand the issues people faced and get an unbiased opinion of his rule. Dressed in commoner's clothing, he'd peruse the streets of Paris and try to blend in with the general populace, observing the city's life and mood firsthand without being recognized. The practice of disguising oneself like this was actually pretty common among rulers back then, who wanted to understand their subjects' lives and concerns. It offered a unique perspective that they wouldn't typically get from their courtiers or advisors. In Napoleon's case, these walks served a dual purpose. They not only gave him valuable insight into public sentiment, but also allowed him a brief escape from the pressures and formalities of his position. Fearful of felines. It's hard to imagine a military genius like Napoleon being scared of anything, but it seems he may have had a fear of cats. It's been cited that his fear originated in childhood, when he was reportedly attacked by a wildcat. This event is believed to have triggered a lifelong aversion to felines. Other sources suggest that Napoleon disliked cats due to their perceived laziness. As someone known for his workaholic nature, he supposedly had no use for such traits. It's important to note, though, that while these stories indicate a fear or a dislike of cats on Napoleon's part, the extent and the nature of this fear remain a subject of debate among historians. A bathing enthusiast. Napoleon had a penchant for long, hot baths. These bath sessions were often an hour long or so, during which he would read newspapers. His servants would be bustling around while he just relaxed and caught up on current events in the bathtub. There's also a rather interesting contrast to this fondness for bathing. Napoleon wrote a letter to his wife, Josephine, asking her not to bathe for several days before his return from battle. This unusual request is believed to be tied to his preference for body odor, which was considered sensual during that period. Height misconceptions. Contrary to popular belief, Napoleon wasn't suffering from short man syndrome. It's reported that he was 5'2" in French measurements, which is equivalent to approximately 5'7" in modern international feet. The confusion arises from the difference between the French measurement system and the English measurement system. The French foot, pied droit, was longer than the English foot, so when his height was converted to English measurements, it appeared that he was shorter than he actually was. This, combined with caricatures and other forms of media portrayal, contributed to the enduring myth of Napoleon being a very short man. So, actually, Napoleon Bonaparte was not exceptionally short. He was of average height for a man of his era and nationality. Napoleon and Sphinxes. While in Egypt, Napoleon developed a fascination for sphinxes. He even ordered the excavation and restoration of the Great Sphinx at Giza, which was buried up to its neck in sand at the time. Tattoos. There's a persistent suggestion that Napoleon had a tattoo that read, "Death to the Infidels" on his chest. Despite the popularity of this rumor, there's no concrete evidence to confirm it per se. The topic of tattoos in relation to Napoleon seems to be more about his influence as a symbol in the tattoo world. His figure and images associated with him, such as his coat of arms, have inspired various tattoo designs. Vegetarianism? Some sources suggest that Napoleon adopted a vegetarian diet later in life, which was quite unusual for his time. But based on the information available, it doesn't appear that Napoleon Bonaparte was a vegetarian. Instead, historical records suggest that he preferred simple and essential meals and gravitated mostly toward potato soup, beans, onions, eggs, pasta, beef, and chicken. Licorice lover. Despite his reputation as a tough military leader, Napoleon had a sweet tooth. He was particularly fond of licorice and consumed it frequently. Yet it's been reported that Napoleon's frequent licorice consumption was actually a remedy for digestive troubles. He would regularly consume licorice powder and brown sugar as a means to soothe his stomach. Stomach woes. Speaking of indigestion, Napoleon was known to have suffered from various health issues, but most notably, stomach problems. Sources suggest that he often ate his meals quickly, which, combined with the stress of his position, could have led to frequent indigestion. However, it's important to note that while indigestion was an inconvenience, he actually suffered from more serious chronic stomach issues. His personal physician, Francesco Antamarchi, reported that Napoleon experienced severe abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting, symptoms consistent with stomach cancer, which is widely believed to be the cause of his death. These are just a handful of the many fascinating and unusual facts and rumors about Napoleon Bonaparte, adding a layer of complexity to his well-known persona as a military genius and influential ruler. So what do you think? Which was the most surprising? Let us know in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe for more. See you in the next video!